Okay, so we can not a lot to take away from the presser today. Obviously, we already talked about really Colin Klein's um, notes. Tyler Odienem, one of the new defensive linemen, obviously an Iowa State transfer. Uh, I've been praising him. I've heard a lot from the staff saying this guy could be a game wrecker at this point because, and I was just talking to my dad about this because we were kind of talking about how he's going to fit the other day, and I said, well, the interesting thing is that Iowa State he's playing is 3-5-5 defense, right? So really, when you're a defensive lineman and a defensive end in that scheme, it's basically two defensive ends and a nose tackle. So all you're doing is filling up space essentially. If you can get to the quarterback, wow, because they're going against two guys, two linemen. So and that's gotten him to this point of he's one of the strongest players. He's one of the toughest players. And now he's going to be in a scheme where he's going to go one-on-one with guys. And God help whoever has to go against him, especially a guard, because I think this guy is just going to bully his way into the backfield most of the season. And that's going to help everybody else on the defensive line.
Yeah, definitely going to help them bolster that line because they were losing, three big NFL draft picks in Nick Skirton, Shamar Stewart, and Shamar Turner up on that line. So really that interior presence is what I was looking at all offseason, preseason. We'll say there is no off season in my mind sometimes. I follow Josh Pate when it comes to that. I don't believe there is an off season.
Yeah, him in the cornfield. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely another one of those follows that if you're not already following, you better be following now. My big question over the entire way of this preseason was, where are the Aggies going to be able to bolster their line? And we saw some people saying when the transfer portal opened, okay, maybe it is a guy like maybe David Gusta, who the Aggies were known to be in for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Tyler Onyedem because of his connection with the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. So when it was announced that Onyedem would be coming to A&M, I thought, okay, maybe this is one where I really do think that if they get all of their ducks in a row, this is a guy where you are able to confidently say, hey, I don't think they're going to be making many plays up that middle because of someone like this, especially with now development coming from DJ Hicks, which I've heard very, very good things about.
Yes, which is good to hear. That's great to hear.
So far. But you also have your veteran guy in Albert Regis, who I have heard nothing but great things about so far. He gets exactly what Mike Elko is going to be doing for this team. He gets exactly what the defensive coordinator, Jay Bateman, is wanting up in that interior defensive line. So I could not be happier with the intel that I'm getting out of these preseason practices so far, with at least those three up in the middle.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm hopeful that this results in better run defense, because I think that if this team can shut down the run, I mean, we're going to have a Notre Dame preview show next week, so stay tuned for that. But having to go against a Jeremiah Love, for example, because of his running style, the fact that he's faced some of this defensive line last year, but again, that's probably a good thing because he was facing three guys who are now in the NFL who had, and I'm going to be honest here, like a couple of them didn't really show up at the end of the year the way we thought they would. So it's not like they are losing a lot of talent. Now, don't get me wrong, because we could talk all day of Shamar Stewart, who is tearing it up in Bengals camp right now, and Nick Skirton, who's having a hell of a preseason right now. So these, again, very talented. Nothing to say about those guys negatively, but hearing the praise about Albert Regis, obviously DJ Hicks, who, again, this is a critical season for him. I remember when Carter Carroll's of Giving 24/7 was on the show a couple months ago. We had discussed that, talking about who really enters this season on a you gotta improve type of level. Like, you have to have a good season to either keep playing for this program, or this is a player that we could see the transfer portal or just leaving. He's one of them, because this is one of the premier recruits that ever committed to this program. He has all the potential in the world. He was playing behind a lot of guys for his first two seasons. He did start last season, but again, It was still kind of a learning curve for him. He was in a new defense. But right now, all I'm hearing is brute strength. Someone who's improved as a pass rusher is a scary human being to go against, especially when you're running the ball. He's taken that challenge. He's been working with Tommy Moffitt and his strength and conditioning coach all offseason. I've seen the lifting videos. Holy crap. Like, you don't want to, again, you do not want to go against this guy because that talent and that production is finally going to marry. And you're going to see 5-star type of play. App Regis, who again is just a wily veteran, had I think 9 pass deflections. I think he was second on the team to Will Lee, star cornerback, which is either 7 or 8 or 9, I forget. But again, just reliable, right? Lunch pail type of play, right? He is going to bite your head off. It doesn't matter how you stack him up against a DJ Hicks and say, well, he wasn't as high of a recruit as he was. Well, it doesn't matter because Albury just knows what the hell he's doing. He knows how to play in this system. Mike Elko loves the guy, and he's already taken on that other leadership role for the defense with obviously linebacker Torrin York and Will Lee and others. But if this defensive line can stop the run, get some pass rush up front, and I mean, I think Odienem is going to be the leader in that. If DJ Hicks can get pressure, if he can get in the backfield, oh baby, okay, because you got Cassius out on the outside, you got Ryan Kennedy, who we haven't talked a lot about, who's has shined during the preseason. You've got TJ Searcy, you've got Deion Hayes, Samuel Pemba, another guy who's just a freaky athlete. This is the thing that Elko wanted, right? He wanted this defensive line to improve so that this new edge group can come in and just eat and just keep cycling these guys in because he wants depth. We've seen when Mike Elko was A&M's defensive coordinator under Jimbo Fisher, this is what he did. He used every guy in the arsenal he could to generate pass rush. And he's got the bulls to do it. He just needs those 3 guys on the defensive line to step up consistently, and that starts with those first 2 games. I don't want to see some no-name running back, no offense to the first 2 teams, gain more than 3 yards against this defensive line. I don't want to see it. Because then I will go, okay, you can say you're having an off day, but I want to see you rip someone's head off. I want to see you – because I see people right now, Cannon, UTSA has a chance. This is the disrespect this team's getting, and I hope they put that in the locker room and say there are actual analysts telling you that UTSA – because their head coach was a potential candidate to take over the program, that they can beat you. I don't know, but that should piss them off.
Hey, I will not take any Robert Henry Jr. slander. That is the UTSA running back. So I will not take any slander for someone who has.
I did that on purpose, to be honest with you.
Hey, we got to put respect on people's names. We got to show respect where respect is due for someone who has over 700 yards last year, the year before, and like 6 touchdowns.
Okay. I recant what I said. 1 name running back. Okay, they can give okay, fine. He's probably gonna have a decent day. He's a good player. But still, I want them to shut him down. I want them to shut these 2 teams down because they know what the challenge that Jeremiah Love's going to bring.
Hey, by the way, John Emery Jr., former LSU running back, is on that roster as well. So I will not take any.
Your football knowledge just astounds me sometimes. I don't even know that.
Hey, sometimes
I'll know that in like 3 weeks. I'll know it in 3 weeks when I do preparation.
It'll be on the broadcast. I'll tell you that they're gonna say the name John Emery at least once or twice.
Former LSU running. Yeah, I know. Look what he did here, and now he's here, so he's going to be better. I know. I see that all the time. But I'm sorry. I just can't. Anyways, thank you for saving me there because I was going to sound like that. But no, it just remains the same, is that if you can stop the run early and you can keep Jeremiah Love to a decent day on the ground, because we have to remember that last year – this was the same player. I'm not going to say that Jeremiah he's that much better. I think he's just still as good as he was. I think he's probably gotten a little better because he's inched towards an NFL career. But again, this is the biggest challenge, right? This is the biggest challenge of this season to get that defense to be not just respectable, but to be feared. And if you have a feared defense, and I think that could be the case with Mike Elko now calling plays, then that's only going to help your offense, because you had a leaky pass defense last year that gave up a lot of big plays and that was very susceptible to even a hobbled Quinn Ewers with Texas, right? Who had a couple big passes. Yeah, he had the pick six, but still, he generated big passes, right? And that shouldn't have been the case because they should have killed him in the pocket because he was playing with, what was it, it was something torn, I think, but he was injured the entire year. So they have all this film to go off of, is that we can't have this because those type of games is just going to put us in a hole, and then we're going to end up losing 3 or 4 games. And then again, the season's pretty much over. So they have the film to go off of that, and they have the guys to get it done.